I want to talk about the childless cat lady comments from J.D. Vance that have recently been resurfaced and have upset some people, including some conservative women. He was trying at the time to make a point about the fact that very often the people who are in charge of our nation are the people who have the least stake in the nation's future. The point he was trying to make is worthy of discussion, but he made it, if he made it at all, in a very clumsy, very poor way. This comment is stupid. It is so stupid that I, who am never at a loss for words, actually almost don't have the words to describe its stupidity. It is the exact type of comment that conservatives and Republicans have to distance themselves from. However, it was said in 2021, well before he became my vice president. President Trump has chosen him, and there's nothing on God's green earth that could stop me from casting my vote for President Trump in November. So I'm behind them 100%. But it is the type of rhetoric that conservatives and Republicans have to leave behind. And please hear what I'm actually saying. I'm not saying that we have to leave this type of rhetoric behind because we need to become more liberalized or more progressive or more feminized or a big umbrella that welcomes everyone and says it's all good. That's not what I'm saying. I have tangible, specific, rational reasons why we should leave this type of messaging behind, not the least of which is that it is antithetical to our values. And I'll get to that in a moment. There are a lot of single and or childless conservative women who are otherwise friendly to your ends, women who are otherwise like-minded and are single and or childless currently for myriad different reasons. And none of us, not one of us knows why someone else, man or woman, is single and or childless. We don't know. So unless someone is bragging about her childlessness, bragging about her singlehood, encouraging other women to do the same, we don't need no man, blah, 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 conservatives actually should proceed with caution. The onus is on us to actually be intentional with our messaging around this, not because we don't want to hurt anyone's feelings or make them cry. That's not why. But because we want to play smart. We want to play to win, I assume. And we also want to speak and live in accordance with our actual values, which again, I will get to in a moment. But the fact remains, we need women voters. We need their support. Conservatives and Republicans cannot pretend as if the only women that we want to talk to, the only women who we want to garner support from are very, very young women or women who are married with children. Because there's a whole swath of women in the middle there who are neither very, very young, nor are they wives and mothers yet. Maybe they will be someday. And we need their votes. We need their support. And this is not me saying that we compromise on our values, that we water down the messaging on abortion. None of that. I'm not saying compromise at all. I'm simply saying don't be foolish with your rhetoric. Don't just run your dang mouth and say things that are off-putting to many people, to many women, including women who might be otherwise friendly to our aims, women who might be single and or childless for myriad reasons, might be trying to not be single and or childless, maybe struggling with that. We don't know the pain that a man or woman has gone through or is going through. Maybe they don't want to be single and or childless. Not all of this is so black and white that you're either married with children or you're a crazy feminist blue-haired cat lady. Come on, guys. And it's just odd to me because the modern day dating scene is like a meme. The dating apps, all of it, it's like no matter what side of the aisle you're on, people make fun of it. People make fun of what crap it is. And while I think there's something to, changing your thoughts, being more positive, it is kind of like culturally a thing that we all know is kind of crap. The amount of times that I've heard someone say, oh, I'm so glad I met my spouse 20 years ago and that I'm not having to deal with this mess. We hear it all the time. We see it, dating apps, dating culture, all of it. And yet then conservatives want to turn around and denigrate single people. And let's be honest, most often single women, that's who they want to denigrate. It really doesn't make sense. You guys, there's so many single conservative women who are praying, hoping for a husband, for children, and just navigating this weird, crappy dating pool the same way that a man is trying to navigate it. And then it further is odd to me because conservatives will be the first people to tell you there's toxins in the environment, there's toxins in our food, there's toxins in the shots, there's toxins in pharmaceuticals, and it's making us sick and infertile. But then in the next breath, conservatives are the ones who want to, again, denigrate childless women. Just like make it make sense to me, please. And even leave aside single women. This type of rhetoric is hurtful to women who are married, often conservative, and who are trying to conceive, who are trying to do the right thing, who are trying to start a family, who are trying to do the very thing we want them to do, but are struggling with their husbands with infertility. So again, it is not about, oh, we don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, the snowflakes, all this and that. It's really not about that. It's simply about the fact that the cost of this messaging is so high and the payoff is none. The payoff, we're not reaching any new people. We're not changing anyone's minds. We're not reaching middle of the road voters. We're not. We're not appealing to anyone other than a very small group of conservative men and even some conservative women who are going to be okay with this type of messaging. I mean, really, the impact we take, the harm, is so much greater than any potential payoff. There is no potential payoff. We're just like preaching to the choir, and we should not be doing this. So not only is it not politically expedient, but it's also antithetical to our values. Our values as conservatives are not denigrate anyone who's childless, denigrate any woman who's childless. That's not our values. There's nothing biblical about that. There's nothing Christian about that. There's very little even traditional about that. You know, the Bible speaks about barrenness. There are women who struggle with being barren in the Bible, and still God uses them. They're influential. You look at the woman in the well. You know, we can even talk about women. Conservatives love to talk about, you know, a woman who has a certain type of past or whatever it is. Christ chose to appear first to the woman at the well, to a woman who had 5 husbands and was living in sin with another man. He chose her to speak to first in Samaria. He chose her to minister to first. And then he entrusted her to go out to the town and spread the good news. So this is not me saying that now everything's okay and we have to promote all of these different sinful lifestyles or less than ideal lifestyles. That's not what I'm saying at all. But I am saying that we don't denigrate people. We don't mock people for this, especially people who might be trying to live up to the ideal. As conservatives, we promote as the ideal marriage between one man and one woman, hopefully making children, loving them at home, raising them right. That's what we promote as the ideal. We want to make that as easy, as accessible, as attractive as possible. But does that then mean that we mock, that we denigrate, that we make an enemy out of anyone who hasn't lived up to that ideal? Including people who might be wanting to live up to that ideal and just struggling for myriad different reasons, infertility, the dating market, whatever the case may be. It's not wise. It's not Christian. It's not traditional. It's not going to make America great again. It's not going to appeal to voters. It's not going to win us elections. So I'm making a video about this because Vance isn't the only one who's kind of spoken like this in the past. I am the last person to point fingers about something you said in the past because Lord knows I have changed my mind. But my point is I really do hope that J.D. Vance, conservatives, Republicans can leave this type of messaging behind moving forward. Again, not so that we can become more liberalized, but so that we can actually win elections, because I'm here to win. I don't know about you. And then also actually live and speak in accordance with our values.